lovebirds. Today we are talking about something super important. Knowing when to peace out of a toxic relationship. Yes, we've all been there, stuck in a relationship that is draining your mental health, taking from you, but it feels like you're just here. So when exactly should you emotionally check out and breathe and step out of a toxic relationship? When should you emotionally check out? That's what we're going to talk about today. You don't have to stay. Really, you don't have to stay. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Corner Sports and I am your host, Sophia with the most. Sophia not with an F-E-Y-H, Sophia with a P-H-I-A. I'm your go-to host for all things dating, love and relationship. And today we've got interesting news. We've got interesting news for you as usual. What's the news? Of course, it's on relationship. We're here to help you better your connection and find real love and real people. Just like what we normally say. It's our creed here, We're here to help you make the most of your human relationship and your emotional connection with people. So today we are going to be talking about how to emotionally check out of a toxic relationship or checking out emotionally out of any relationship at all. So here is it, people in toxic relationship actually know they are in toxic relationship. Trust me, they are not daft. They do know. The thing is, they find it hard to leave. And why is that? It's because they've given so much, that they feel sometimes that if I should leave, where am I going to start from? Okay, what about this? What about that? What about this one and that one? Some actually are still being manipulated, because some of these toxic partners can be doing the most. Those people can be moving mad. Trust me, they have a lot of tactics and antics up their sleeves. So some of them use manipulation tactics, that when they see, this person is ready to bail or leave, they come showering them with love again and empty promises and rekindling the love, probably doing things that made them that they were doing that made their partner fell in love with them in the first place. But all now wash. Last you have to go. Why? Because a toxic relationship will keep taking from you. Trust me, it will keep taking from you until it takes you. I pray a toxic relationship will not take any one of you, because that's what it does. That's the end goal. In the long run, why? Because it drains your energy. It tells on your mental health. It tells on your peace. You are anxious, you're depressed, you're no longer that happy person you used to be. You're now a shadow of yourself. This is what staying with a toxic partner can cause or do. So the best thing is to check out, and the first way to check out is to check out emotionally. Trust me, once your heart is no longer there in the relationship, leaving or quitting the relationship physically becomes walkover. It becomes much more easier. So that's what we want to dive into today. How do you check out emotionally from a relationship? Now, before we dive into the checkout process, let's identify some red flags of a toxic relationship. Perhaps your relationship is not being toxic, or perhaps your partner is not being toxic. Perhaps it's just going through stress, So let's check out the red flags so you'll be sure that this is actually a toxic relationship. What are the telltale signs that would help you identify that you are in a toxic relationship? Now, any relationship that gives you constant stress and anxiety is a toxic relationship. Like, you are not at peace, not for one day, not for 2 minutes. You are always stressed, you're always anxious about one thing or the other. That's a telltale sign of a toxic relationship. Your peace is at stake, your heart is at stake, your heart is always jumping, like you are the one that is handling the budget of Nigeria, or you are the one sitting on the presidential seat, So that's a telltale sign, constant stress and anxiety, Another telltale sign of a toxic relationship is you realize this person is manipulating you emotionally. Just like I said, some of these toxic partners can be doing the most. Their main tool that they use, number one tool that they use is manipulation. So any relationship that you see that you're constantly being manipulated, you're being gaslighted, you're being blackmailed into doing things you don't want to do or things you want to do, that's a toxic relationship. Just tick it. That's a toxic relationship. Another thing here is there is lack of communication and respect. Any relationship you see yourself in that there's no mutual respect, no understanding, no communication, you guys are always fighting like cat and rat, always bickering about something, always disagreeing about something. There is no coming to agreement. You can't agree for a day to actually do something and pull through with it. You could have started that thing, but before the end of the day, one fight or something will just occur at the long run. That's a toxic relationship. There is no thorough communication process, no positive communication process, no effective communication process in the relationship. That's a toxic relationship. And no respect, no mutual respect, that's a toxic relationship. Also, any relationship you are that you feel trapped and suffocated, you feel this person just wants to take your life, like is making it unbearable, or she's making it unbearable for you. You're not a shadow of yourself. This is not who you used to be. You can no longer keep friends since you are in this relationship. You can no longer visit your family. You can no longer do things you used to do. They cut you off from every important person in your life. In guys that they are jealous, or they want you all for themselves, or they know better than you. You just feel trapped and suffocated. That is a toxic relationship. That is another telltale sign that your relationship is actually a toxic one. Also, your mental health is suffering. Your brain is being stressed. Your brain is being hurt. That's a toxic relationship, sis. That's a toxic relationship, bro. You want to start knowing how to check out now. So since we've taken the red flags you need to know to come to a conclusion that this relationship you are in is a toxic one, what or how can you now check out from the relationship emotionally? Now let's dive into it. How do you check out emotionally from that relationship? How do you do that? Now, the emotional checkout process, can be a strenuous one. Why? Because it's emotion. So it is likely or very possible that you're still in love with this person. Yes, it happens. You were of course in love with them. That's why you're in the relationship in the first place. So you deciding to check out emotionally does not mean that love will just snap once. It's like something they cut with scissors. No, it is a gradual process. The way you didn't fall in love with them at once is the same way you won't come out of falling in love with them at once. So it's a process. So how do you check out emotionally? The first thing you want to do is acknowledge your feelings. Don't be in denial. That will just only make matters worse. Don't say, I don't even love himself. It's a lie. You do. So don't be in denial. Don't be in denial. Acknowledge your feeling. Recognize your emotions, whatever they are. Know what level the love is. Are you still held head over heels for them, or it's just still at the normal level, or the love has actually decreased or is decreasing? Recognize and tag the emotions. Don't suppress it. Don't be in denial. That's the first thing you want to do. If you need to write it down, write it down. I still feel in love with this person at this level, or I'm at this level still in my emotional feelings with this person. Yes, acknowledge your feelings, recognize your emotions, and don't suppress them. Another thing you want to do is accept the truth. Accept the truth. Don't live in denial. Just like I said, accept the truth of your relationship. Accept that the relationship is a toxic one. Accept that the relationship is sinking down the drain. Accept that nothing can be done to remedy or salvage it. As much as you would love to save the relationship, as much as you love to work it out, it has just come to the end. Like, there is nothing that can be done. Just face the reality of it. Then you want to grieve your loss. Trust me, it might sound foolish and stupid, like, okay, you've not even told to your partner yet that you're no longer interested, or you want to come out of the relationship, or they do again. You've not let the person know, but you're already taking these steps on your own or by yourself. Will this even work? When you finally say it, will you even mean it? But if you've done this thing, trust me, you're like 10 steps ahead of them. Why? Because you have already checked out of the relationship. So when you finally come to say it, that is if you're the one that will still break it up, or if they are the one that wants to break it up with you, that actually now comes to say it, you won't feel that hurt. Why? You've lived the hurt already. You've processed the emotions already. You've gone past it already, So grieve the loss. It's okay to mourn the relationship. Get what you need. I used to have this friend that whenever something happens like that in a relationship, do you know what she does? She takes herself out, literally. She takes herself out, get a big bowl of ice cream. She sits down and consumes it. Then she comes back home and cry, like she bawls her eyes out. But at least food dey belle first. So if that is what will work for you, grieve. If you need to cry. If you need to post anything online, just take care when you are doing it, so the person will not get a cue that, oh, this person is actually leaving me, because you want to make sure you've checked out emotionally first before you get to do it physically. But grieve the relationship. Nobody will hold you. Grieve the loss. Nobody will hold you to it. Then seek support. Surround yourself. That's the best time you want to surround yourself with friends, your loved ones. If there is a support group or a support community or a system, that talk about relationship and all these things, you can go there, share your story. You might never know who is going through the same thing, or even much more worse than you are. You can find encouragement. You can find strength, from that kind of group and association. So seek support. Then the last thing you want to do, in this emotional checkout process, set boundaries. Have the boundaries in your head already. Make sure it's living, active and working in your head, so when that day comes that you need to implement it physically, it won't be hard. So when you are saying to them, don't you ever call me again, the way you say it, the person will know, yes, she means it, or he meant it, So you want to set boundaries. Set your emotional boundaries. If you need to write it down, write it down. Stop calling me, stop texting me. Don't pass the same route I'm passing. Don't greet me when you see me in the office. That's if it's a office relationship. Anything you need to do, just write it down. Set boundaries, because establishing boundaries is very important. It's to protect yourself and your emotion, so you don't fall again for the trap of that person. Because some of these toxic partners can be moving mad. I told you, some are so manipulative that when you actually decide to break it off with them, they will not let you go. They'll tell you, oh, you think you can leave me? You can't leave me, we die here. So they want to come back, to you. Some will use other tactics. Some will come back acting like they are changed, so they'll come back softly, giving you love, giving you attention, giving you care. All now one show. It's a trap. Once you fall into it, then they do you the next shaggy. Some people would actually come back with violence, like they'll tell you, I'm not going to leave you, you are stuck with me. They will want to do all those crazy things, want to use violent method, like obsessed people, so you have to make sure you have working boundaries already in your head, so set boundaries. So quickly, let's run over the emotional checkup process again. The first thing I said is what I said. You have to accept, acknowledge your feeling, rather recognize your feeling. Don't suppress them. Don't lie to yourself. Don't live in denial. Then accept the truth. Accept that the relationship cannot be remedied. Then you want to grieve the loss. Grieve your loss. Take time, months, weeks, as long as you need. Take time. It's your emotion. You know how better you can heal. Then seek support and set boundaries. Seek support and set boundaries. Now, if you've done this thing, we can now say you've started the process of checking out emotionally. Now, the next thing in this process that you want to do is to detach yourself from the relationship. After you've done this thing, now you want to now detach yourself actively from the relationship. How or what do I mean by detaching yourself from the relationship? You want to stop doing things you used to do before. So if you call 4 times, you want to minimize it to once, up until you even stop calling. In the long run, so you detach yourself from the relationship. Stop investing in the relationship. Cease all form of emotional labor. Stop investing in the relationship emotionally. Don't call. Minimize call to the barest minimum up until you stop calling finally. Don't text. Don't FaceTime. Don't binge. Anything you want to do, that would make the person know that, oh, this person is not as emotionally invested or as they used to be. I now realize, stop it. You want to stop it. This is another thing you want to do, Then create distance. You know what they say about being keeping communication with anybody at all. It breeds affection, it breeds love. When I start calling you every day, you look forward to my calls. The day I won't call you, will call me. It's normal. So you want to create that gap, create distance, take space away from the person. If it can be done physically, do it. That's if you can travel for a while, if you can leave that environment, why not? By all means, do it. It will help you. Take space, take space both physically and emotionally. Tell yourself, I won't call, no matter the urge. Even if you are seeing them online, I won't text. Even if I see their notification, I won't open it. It can be hard, but it's possible, So create distance. Also, focus on self-care. Prioritize self-care. Now is the time to reflect on all the things that the relationship has taken away from you. All the things that the relationship has stolen from you. You want to go back to it. If there is a thing you used to do, if there is a thing you used to love that you had stopped because of your involvement with a toxic partner or in a toxic relationship, you want to go back to it. Go back to your point of interest. Go back to your hobbies. Go back to the things that excite you, that makes you happy. If it's painting, if it's bowling, if it's karaoke, if it's going out, if it's anything at all that you were doing that you had to stop or the relationship took from you, now it's time to prioritize your self-care. Focus on yourself, your mental health, your looks, everything that makes you come back bigger and better into that baby girl and that baby boy you once were. So prioritize your self-care and focus on your self-care. And prioritize your well-being is another thing you want to do. Then the next thing you want to do after this is reclaim your identity. You were somebody before that relationship. You were somebody before that relationship. So who was that person you used to be? Who was that person you were that even made the person approach you in the first place? You were somebody. You had a personality, you had a standard, you had a say. So rediscover your interest and passion and work on yourself. Rebrand yourself, remodel yourself. Tell yourself, this is who I am now. I'm Sophia, your host with the most. So tell yourself, this is who I am now. So rediscover yourself. Another thing you want to do, is block or limit contacts. If it's okay to block them once, just block them. That is going ghost mode. Now this is going ghost mode for the right reason, because I will not support you ghosting anybody who doesn't deserve to be ghosted. But a toxic partner definitely deserves to be ghosted, and even much more. So you want to go ghost mode. That is if you are blocking them immediately, so you've already emotionally checked out and you just block them, but if you're not blocking them immediately, you want to limit contact. I said, you're texting, you're chatting, you're whatever, even physical meet up, limit contact and set boundaries for your own protection. Set boundaries for your own protection. Now if you've done this, you've emotionally checked out and then you've detached from the relationship, the next thing you want to do is overcome any sense of guilt or shame. In fact, there shouldn't even be any sense of guilt or shame in the first place. Like, what are you ashamed for? That you're living a toxic relationship, a relationship that almost took your life? How? So don't feel guilty or ashamed that you had to leave them. They were not worthy of you. They deserved to be left. That's why. So you didn't do anything wrong. So remember and always remind yourself that this relationship was, or rather, yes, was, because you're no longer going to be in it, was a toxic one. And that's why you are even having to leave in the first place. And remind yourself why you are leaving. Always remind yourself why you are leaving. And be kind to yourself. Please don't beat up yourself. Don't say, oh, if I had done something better, or I wish there was a thing I had done, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that, maybe perhaps so would have still been together. Stop beating yourself. Be kind to yourself. They didn't deserve you. Also reframe your narrative. View the experience as a lesson. Don't see yourself as a victim, because it might affect you getting into another relationship. You might start thinking, oh, maybe from henceforth is toxic relationship I'll just be encountering. So you want to reframe your narrative. When you're thinking about the whole experience, think of it as a lesson. Don't think of it as something that you were a victim of or something. You're not a victim, you're a victor, baby girl, you're a victor, man. So reframe your narrative of the whole experience, and then celebrate your strengths. What do I mean by this? It takes courage to actually acknowledge that you are in something, that you are worth more than, that this thing you are in now is less than you, is below you, you don't deserve it. It takes courage. So you're a very brave person. So celebrate that. Celebrate your strengths. Don't ever see yourself as a victim. Now, if you've done all of these things, if you've detached emotionally, you've checked out emotionally, you've detached from the relationship, you've overcome this guilt and shame stage. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to start rebuilding and moving on. No time to check time. Once another thing leaves, you can't live your life in a void. You have to fill it up with other things. I'm not saying you have to jump into a relationship the next day. No, take time to heal. You have to take time to heal, but you want to fill that void with something else. So you not be tempted to want to go back to your partner, because you definitely remember the good times. You are not a robot that you press Control Delete in your brain or something. You definitely remember. Trust me, as toxic as it may be, or as it could have been, there might be one or two, sweet experiences. There might be one or two lovely moments. So I'm not disputing that. So sometimes your heart will just wander. So to catch your heart from wandering, and to catch yourself from going back to beg that person or saying, I'm sorry, let's continue, what do you want to do? How can you rebuild and move on? This is what I'm going to talk about now. Rebuilding and moving on involves, first of all, you take time to heal. Focus on self-growth and improvement. Trust me, when you are the better version of yourself, you attract a better version of another person. Yes, that's how the universe works. Better deserves better. Even if sometimes better does not get better. But we hope that does not be your own case, or that will not be your own case. So focus on your self-growth. Take time to heal. Don't just want to rush into another relationship. Don't rush into another relationship. Then explore new interests. Try out new things that you were actually scared of trying because of your partner, or experiences that you would have gotten, but they say, oh, it's not good for you. No, don't study that now. No, don't apply for that job now. Try out new things. Explore new interests. Then nurture meaningful connection. Invest in positive relationship, invest in positive connection. Go out for parties, visit good people, visit nice places, visit forums, forums where they talk about relationship and other things. Just explore new things. Don't stay cooped up now inside. Go out, live your life, move on, learn from the experience, and you're learning from it to apply it to your future relationship. Don't just learn from it to beat up yourself or be hard on yourself. Learn from it to take a cue from it and take the necessary lesson for your next relationship. Now, in conclusion, checking out of a toxic relationship is very possible. It's very, very possible and workable. Although it takes courage, but it is necessary for your well-being. You need to understand that the more you stay in it, the more detrimental your life is becoming. And it can not only just take from you, it might end up taking you too. So your emotional safety matters. Always remember that. If you're having a second thought, should I not go? Oh, but this person is the person supplying everything I want, like all my needs, everything. This person is the person catering for me. This person is the person funding my lifestyle. You would always get another person to fund your lifestyle. Who was funding your lifestyle before that person come? And if it were nobody, this person come. So to show you that another one will come. If this one is able to come, another one will definitely come. So don't stay and die in that toxic relationship because of all these things that you're considering. So your emotional safety matters. Also, you deserve better. I always say it, you're enough. If you know me with these words. You're enough. You deserve better. So healing is also possible. Don't say, oh, I've gone too far, I've been so abused, I don't even think if I even come out of the relationship, who will want to love somebody like me? I've been through so much, I've been so abused, will I still know how to give love? Or will I now be a toxic person myself? No, you won't be a toxic person, because you were never like that. It's association with that person that made you into something you're not. And now if you leave that person, you become your real self and a much more better version, in fact. So healing is possible, and healing is just right at the door, outside of that relationship. So you want to leave, don't stay back, don't stay cooped up. Also, growth is inevitable. As long as you're in this life, you keep growing, either for the better or for the worse, but growth is inevitable. While some people grow in retrogression, like they are going back, some are actually advancing. But anyways, growth is inevitable, so you definitely grow. So don't say, oh, all my life can ever be, all I can ever see is with this person. If I leave, where do I start from? How do I pick up the pieces? Just leave. You will pick up the pieces, trust me. And in the long run, it will make a very beautiful piece and a very beautiful story. So before you go, remember, you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone in this. You're not alone in this relationship. Trust me, there are lots of people everywhere, all over the world, facing this toxic relationship of a thing. Some are too ashamed to speak out. Some are too afraid to leave, because these so-called people are the one funding their lifestyle. Let me share a quick story with you that I heard of a particular girl whose boyfriend got her infected with HIV/AIDS. Why? And she didn't leave. She didn't leave the relationship. The whole thing started, it's a long distance relationship. She was back at school. The guy works in another state while she's schooling in another state. So from time to time, when there is the holidays approaching, instead of her to leave school to come back home, she just stayed back in school. He got her an apartment, so they will spend the whole holiday together. He would take excuse from his office and all that, then he would go back and all. This young lady was being faithful to the man, having the thought that after all, it's the person I want to get married to, and he's already doing so much. He's taking care of me, taking care of my education. My family don't have to bother about that. My family are not even well to do in the first place, so this is like, I'm so lucky and all. So she was being 100% faithful. Yes, even in school, that even if she had run one or two things, he might not know, but she didn't even do anything. She was being true to him. But this guy, on the other hand, whilst he was there working, he was sleeping around, he was cheating, he was not being faithful to her at all, to the point that he got infected with the HIV virus, up until it grew into something else. And then he didn't let her know, he didn't let her know that he had HIV, and he was taking treatments. He was hiding it, taking treatments, and he infected her with it, and she didn't know. She had no idea, because she didn't know. He's the only one she's been sleeping with. She didn't know. Now this girl will go extra miles to please this guy. Why? Because of that mindset that, oh, he's doing everything for me. He's doing everything for me. If he leaves, who will take care of me? Who will do this? Who will do that? To the point that this guy would actually have some kind of explicit sex style with her. What do I mean? Like anal sex, like porn stars, and she would actually do it. She wasn't happy doing it, but she had no choice. Now you might say he's not beating her, or is taking care of her, is everything. So how is he being toxic? This is a even more worse toxic trait. This is being manipulative. This is not being fair. This is injustice. This is demonic, if you would ask me. It would do all sort of, if he sees a particular sex style today, he wants to explore with her. Like, he has full control over her body, full control. It was not until the lady finally fell sick, when the virus had gotten to that point and it triggered whatever, and she went to the hospital and they told her. So she found that she got infected, confronted him, and that was when she realized, oh, he was the one that actually gave it to her, because he wanted to turn about the whole thing, like, who knows if you're sleeping around and what. And she tells him, don't you dare even tell me that. You're the only one I'm with and you know it. So what's happening? Then he's like, he's so sorry, this, that. And in his manipulative sense, okay, since you have this, I have it, why not just let's stay together and get married and all. But I thank God that lady reached out to people that matter, although even if it was too late, because she should have gotten out earlier, but for the fear that he's the one paying my bills. That's why I always advise girls, get something doing, no matter how small, no matter how little, even if it's to buy and resell. At least you have little profit. Don't fully and solely depend on a man, especially a man you're not married to. Is very wrong. It's dangerous, because these men can be moving mad at times. Trust me. Sorry to say, some of them, not everyone. Okay, not everyone, but even the ones you're married to, even if it is so responsibility to take care of you as his wife now, some of them still do not hold up to their end of the bargain. Some of them still will not do the things they are supposed to do. Plus, the way the economy is even now, you can't fully depend or leave everything for your man. You have to support too. You have to support. So things like this happen. So you don't have to let this be your story or let it get this worse before you want to emotionally check out and even physically check out of a toxic relationship. It's possible. You can get better. You can pick back your life together. HIV is not a death sentence. People live with it and they are living well. People have partners that are not infected and it remains that way, and they were able to make babies and come to terms with the whole thing and manage the disease. So yours should not be any different if you're just truthful and open, and of course find a partner that is understanding. Like this girl now, she was a victim. She was a victim to that terrible partner that she was in with. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section on this topic today, checking out emotionally from a toxic relationship, and let me know if you've had similar stories, heard of anything similar. And don't forget to give us a like and comment, and of course subscribe to our channel. This is Corner Sports, and I remain Sophia, your host with the most. I'm your go-tos for all things relationship, love and dating. Until next time, keep it love, guys. Bye.